This question, how has your fall been so far?
My fall?
Yeah.
It's been good. Today we're in Jyväskylä, Finland, as you might know already. Actually we had this last weekend, we had a couple of shows in Sweden, which was the start of this touring period, I guess. So we played in Linköping and Västerås, and it was a lot of fun. It went really well. And now we're back in Finland to do 4 shows that were planned in 2020 and has been postponed like everyone else's shows have been, and now finally we're here.
Yeah, like you said, it's a complete 4 days in Finland. So how has Finland treated you in the past? How was your sort of mindset when you come to Finland to perform? Are the fans eager here, or how has the experience been in your previous tours?
Well, to be honest, and this might sound like something you would say like anywhere you go, like, oh, Brazil is the best place, you know. But Finland is really a cool place to be a metal band in. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Interviewer nods his head, so he's agreeing. Because here it feels like metal is tapping into the mainstream. So seems like everyone digs metal, and metal is on the charts, and probably even on TV and radios and stuff. And we can feel that. And yeah, I think it's been one of our strongest markets. Yeah.
If I've understood correctly, you have a new album ready.
Yes.
So how has the whole recording process been like? Because it's been quite many years since your previous album.
Yeah, it's been a really drawn out process, because I wrote the songs back in 16, I guess. Like the main, like all the main stuff of the songs were written back then, and we recorded. I think we recorded drums also in 16, and then we recorded the rest on and off for the next few years. And then in 2017 I started playing with Meshuggah. I started touring with them, and I also started playing with Nocturnal Rites, which was nice for me because it was something that I needed at the time. I felt like doing something else after many years of doing Scar Symmetry only, pretty much. So that sort of put the Scar Symmetry thing like a little bit on the side. We never really went on a real hiatus. We just we were like in cryo suspension or something for a bit. And then I stopped playing with Meshuggah, and suddenly I had much more time, and I decided to finish up the album, and we signed a new deal with Nuclear Blast, and then started planning the release and everything, and things that you have just since like we decided to really start putting our focus into Scar Symmetry again. It's had just things that have taken a really long time, negotiating the deal, getting a new sorting out our business from the ground up. I guess we have a new manager, booking agent, we have a new like legal representation, we had the new record deal, and all of that took a long time. It's like but then finally, when it was everything was into place, we also, and because people have been asking about this, because we've had the album release postponed like almost a year longer than what we thought, because we had a sad thing happen when an artist that was working on the artwork for us, he disappeared, and then he let us know that his mom had passed. And it was a really sad situation. We haven't really talked about it a lot, but that postponed things a lot, because then we had to find a new artwork artist. And yes, so we're currently still in a holding pattern, waiting for the release date to be set.
Do you think the wait has in any way been like a positive influence on the music and you as people, that you've had to you've had time to do other things, but on the other hand you've had like time to perfect the second part of the trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I felt the need to do something else for a while, because I was a bit burnt out by being sort of the band leader, and because I was sort of the band leader and managing the band, taking care of all the logistics, all the business, and that became like a bit tough. So for me to have a few years touring with another band where I didn't have any responsibilities at all aside from playing my guitar, that was pretty neat. So that affected me a lot, and then when we decided to like come back as a band in a way, I felt really excited about it, and for sure the album production, I've been like nudging things and adding little details up until the very end before I sent in the final master. And then we've had the few years of COVID, where the whole world, like the whole music world, stopped. And for me personally, I guess that's been, I'm not really been adversely affected. I've been lucky in that way. So for me that has been a pretty neat time. Been able to spend a lot of time with my family and finalizing the album and all of that kind of stuff.
When you were on your long spree with Meshuggah, did you find at any sort of spot, or maybe towards the end, that you were starting to miss Scar Symmetry and being like with your own band?
Yeah, for sure. And I loved the years I spent with Meshuggah, and they treated me really well, and I got to do my own thing, like within their framework, because I got to do whatever I wanted with the solos, and I improvised all the solos, and I got to bring a little bit of myself into it. But after a while, if I would have continued for longer, it would. I suppose at the end of the day, it was a paid gig, So and nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But I wanna write music. I wanna produce music. I wanna do my own thing. So. But what I took away from being inside a band like Meshuggah was the way they conducted all their business and the way they built their team and their crew, and I thought that that's things there that I wanna like take and apply on my own band, which I've done.
Did you have any concerns when you first stepped into the shoes of Frederick, who's this sort of regarded as one of the greatest modern guitarists? Did you have any stress in how the fans would treat you, because you're like a new face in the band?
No, not really, because it's not something I really can affect. I can only step into the situation and be myself. I never tried to be him. I never tried to, I didn't try to impersonate him or anything. And I think that I think that resonates with people, and people understood that he was taking time off to do some stuff that he wanted to do, and it was never meant to be a permanent replacement. It was more like he's stepping out for a bit and another guy is coming in so it's like at least they get Meshuggah. The band is still out there doing their thing, and I hope that people think that I treated the gig with respect, and I was very happy to see that that people were so accepting of me being there. Aside from the occasional hater, but that's fun. It's very fun. Please reply with your best troll comment in the comment section of wherever this shows up.
That's great. So now with you sort of full steam ahead, do you already have plans for the third part of the album trilogy?
Yes, I have.
Have you started to work on it?
Not really. There's no actual songs written. It's more like some general ideas that I want to do, and it was the same with the other two phases of the trilogy. That I had a pretty strong vision of what I wanted to say musically, and yeah.
Now, regarding some of the themes on the album trilogy, because it's been quite many years since the first part, do you think that some of the themes are even more relevant today than the time you first started creating?
I don't know. Robert, come and say hey, Robert.
Hey, I'm gonna get a beer.
A beer, you say.
I'm only gonna have one. I don't know. The themes are more relevant. I mean, it's. Our drummer Henrik writes the lyrics, and I think they are more supposed to be like science fiction lyrics. It's like it's more meant to be entertainment than social commentary.
Just reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, there's been people who has read our lyrics and been trying to they know stuff about the future and they are like futurists and but yeah, that's not the case. It's more like we're making a music version of a sci-fi movie or something.
Okay. So it's more like fiction-ish.
Yes.
So going back to the whole Meshuggah thing, when you sort of look back into it, how was the whole experience to you as a musician? Because you're somebody who you were like a good fit on the band playing this sort of lead guitar or whatever it is in Meshuggah. How was the experience for you as a guitarist? Did you find, like you said, you got to add yourself in there, but was there anything that musically you had to kind of shift in your own head when you played on stage?
I think it was pretty easy for me to get into playing their music because I haven't really played any of their songs before joining them, but I have played all kinds of weird shit in my days. I used to have a Frank Zappa tribute band, so I mean that's not exactly Meshuggah music, but it's like a lot of odd meter and polymeter and polyrhythms. So and there's like the occasional little Meshuggah-esque thing that we use in Scar Symmetry. So most of that stuff was already second nature to me. It was just more about actually learning the songs. Not to say that it was all easy. It took some practice and some time figuring things out. But I think I was pretty primed for the gig.
Did the guys help you, or did you yourself just pick up the songs and learn?
No, they just threw me off the deep end. And when I was gonna come in for the first sort of, I guess you could say it was an audition or a rehearsal or something. They gave me a bunch of songs, like we're probably gonna play these, so pick out, learn a few of those. So I learned 5 songs, and when I came to the rehearsal space, Thomas said, "Oh, we're not gonna play those 2," you know, and I was like, "Oh, fucking hell," because it took some time to practice them, and I wanted to get them right for that first rehearsal, to not make a fool of myself, and then later on, when we started rehearsing for real for the first tour, they gave me another bunch of songs to learn, which I did, and then I came to rehearsal space. No, we're not gonna play those 2 or 3 songs, and I was like, what is this? But then eventually, as I did more tours, those songs that were sort of discarded, they popped up on the set list eventually. So it was all fine in the end. But that first time when Thomas said, "We're not gonna play those 2 songs," that was so funny. I didn't mind it though. It was fun learning the songs.
You've also been a long-time member of the Swedish rock group Kaipa.
Yeah.
So how do you shift between these projects? You have like Scar Symmetry, which is Scar Symmetry, it's this sort of melodic death metal, rock metal thing, and then you had Meshuggah, which is like extreme difficult music. But then you have like Kaipa, which is a bit more traditional, like prog rock. How do you shift between these things, or do you just have so much of creative energy that you are able to spread it to all these projects?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have. It's not like I have to change something. Obviously, the music styles are so different, but it's like you. When you're hanging out with someone, you're reading the room and you're feeling out things, and now like you and I were talking, and we're not screaming at each other, but we're not whispering either. It's a little bit like that. Like it would be inappropriate for me to whisper or scream right now, and so it's really not more difficult than that. That when I put my guitars and my creative ideas on the Kaipa music, the music itself dictates that I express like a certain range of musical ideas, and with a band like Meshuggah, it's a different kind of range, but there's still a lot of common language. It's the same 12 notes in an octave that's being used.
How much creative room do you have in Kaipa, for example, on the brand new album that was released earlier this year?
Well, I get to sort of write my own solos, and there's a lot of parts that are written that I'm supposed to like replace, and I get everything as audio files in like a demo version. So there might be a sound that is supposed to resemble like a guitar lead tone, and then I play those notes, but maybe I phrase them in a way that sounds more like a guitar. And then there's also always room for me to interpret or add stuff that I feel are needed, like maybe put in some clean chords, and I use the kind of chord voicings that I want to use. So a lot of it is written, but yeah, there's a lot of creative room as well.
Do you have any immediate plans for more touring with Scar Symmetry after these 4 free shows?
Yeah, we have a few more shows this fall. These shows, I guess, they were these Finnish shows were like they were supposed to happen 2 years ago, but now when they happened this fall instead, we were really hoping for this to be tied to the album release. But as that has been put a little bit longer into the future, it's its own thing. But we're doing next week we're doing the Ready for Prague festival in southern France, Then we're doing Brainstorm in Netherlands. Then we have a couple more shows in Sweden, Östersund and Umeå, and then we're coming back to Finland for what's the name of that? Unholy Winterfest. Yes, don't bring a priest. He will burn up.
Thank you, sir.